Hi, I'm Meg from IT Stamping and welcome to today's video tutorial. Today we're going to be making a birthday card, but we're not going to be using a ton of supplies. Instead, we're going to let our ink pads do all the work for us. So we're really paying attention to adding color on this card and not worrying about, like I said, a lot of supplies. Speaking of supplies, let's go ahead and review what we're going to use. We're going to have two pieces of Whisper White where the measurements do matter. The first one is going to be a thick piece of Whisper White. It's going to be 4 1/4 by 11 inches, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. This is going to be our card base. Then we're going to have a piece of Whisper White that's going to be 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Then we want to have an additional piece of Whisper White. I don't need it to be this big. Grab whatever you have out of your scrap bin. We're going to be using the Decorative label punch so you can tell this is a bigger piece, a much bigger piece of cardstock than I actually need. All right, now let's pay attention to our stamp sets. So we're using two of my favorite, and I want to point these out to you. This is Gorgeous Grunge. This is probably one of my favorite ways to add stamp texture to a card is by using this stamp set. I cannot imagine life without this stamp set. It's just one of my favorites. We're going to be using this big old ink splot right here. Next, this is one of my favorite sentiment sets. I love to pick out stamp sets that have a lot of versatility. And this one you can use from Easter to birthday, thank you, forever begins today, baby cards, everything. Before we go on, let me go ahead and show you something though with the Stampin' Up! Catalog. So I think I have it page marked. Yes, I do. Here is where it's called the Sweet Sayings. Here's where this stamp set is. It's on page 104 of the current catalog. What I want to point out to you is not the sentiments. I just showed you that, but I want you to take a look at these fabulous project ideas. Remember, your Stampin' Up! Catalog is more than just a catalog. It's also chock full of ideas. So if you don't have a catalog, reach out to me, leave me a comment below, and we'll get that conversation on how I can get you a catalog, all right? Okay, so we have that, and then we're going to be using a whole bunch of ink pads. So I have 6 different ones, and I'm gonna turn to one other page real quick, because I get asked about this all the time. I'm going to use, there we go. I'm going to use the Brights collection, and I'm going to use 6 of them. And there is the way to get the entire set when you look over here in the assortment box. I think a lot of times we forget about that assortment box. But you can get the whole 10 set of ink pads right here, as well as the refills, as well as the markers and everything else. And I'll tell you, that's what first drew me to Stampin' Up! Was the color coordination, because I'm not good with picking out colors and matching them together. I'm really not. Okay, so we have all of our supplies covered other than some adhesive and your Stampin' Mist and Stampin' Scrub, because we will need those. We're ready to dive in. So we're gonna start with a piece of the Whisper White that's gonna be the 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And I'm going to grab my splot that we were talking about. And I'm going to start with my lightest color ink first. You don't have to, because we are going to be cleaning in between, but I like to do that just because it gets me in that habit of doing it for other things, like if I'm doing the rock and roll technique. I just prefer to always start with my lightest color first. So I'm going to wash it and dry it. And that's all we need with the yellow. Then we're going to go to Pumpkin Pie. I'm going to ink this one up, and then another one. Wash it, dry it. The next color we're going to use is Old Olive. I'm going to twist, because we do want to overlap. Next, we're moving on to Tempting Turquoise. And let's add some blue over here as well as over here. Wash it, dry it. I've got 2 more colors to go. I'm going to bring in the rich Razzleberry, and some could say that this is the darkest, but I think you'll see why I'm doing the last color. Well, last. Do that one like that. Oh, I didn't dry it. And then we're going to move on to Real Red. So I need 2 more ink splots. Pretty cool, huh? And you can add more if you want, but to me, 2 of each was the perfect amount. While we have this Real Red out, I'm gonna bring in what would be my scratch piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to bring in my sentiment. So I'm going to use the They Say It's Your Birthday. And if you grew up in the 80s like I did, you probably want to start singing right now. If you grew up after that, you might have no idea what I'm talking about. But you should be grateful I'm not going to sing to you. All right, they say it's your birthday. We're gonna stamp that on that piece of Whisper White. Since the Stampin' Scrub's right there, I'll go ahead and use it. Okay, let's start building out our card. We're really almost done. I'm gonna take my card base, fold it in half, and take my splotches, and I'm using fast fuse. And I think the biggest mistake people use with fast fuse is that they try to push down like you have to do with other tape runners. A gentle touch is definitely the way to go when it comes to fast fuse. We're going to take this and drop it on top. I love white on white cards. I think they look so crisp and clean. To me, that looks just stunning. All right, now we're ready to bring in our punch. And we're going to punch out our sentiment. There we go. So we have this cute looking guy right there. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals. I only need 2. That'll definitely get the job done. Stick that on the back of here. And then just drop this in the middle. All right, you know what, I'm gonna do it where it is actually straight. There we go, that's better. And so look at this cute birthday card that we've made. So it didn't take a lot of supplies. We used 1 color of cardstock. We did use a whole bunch of inks, but then we just used 2 stamps and then 1 punch. That's all it took. But we're letting the color be the wow, be the focal point, be the woohoo on our birthday card. So I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this card. If you decide you want any of these supplies, I certainly appreciate it when you order from me. You can go to ithstamping.com, look on the right-hand side, that'll be over here for you. On the right-hand side, you'll see a button that says Order Online. So let me know if you like this video or not by simply clicking the like button. That's how I know that you want to see more videos like this. Again, I'm Meg from I Teach Stamping. Thanks for watching. Oh, and be sure to subscribe to my channel while you're here. If you have any questions, leave them below the video in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.